When Britney wrote Piece of Me in 2007, she couldn't have imagined that the song would be so fitting to everyone's favorite black, bold, and beautiful music icon, Lizzo. But it seems as if nowadays everyone wants a piece of her. The latest addition to the list is Kanye West, who recently had some very interesting things to say about Lizzo's weight. Let's look at what he said, as well as how Lizzo clapped back. For starters, what did Kanye say this time? For anyone who has been keenly following social media platforms of late, most of us to be honest, because we have nothing much better to do really, they'd know that lately Kanye is a little more off the rails than we'd expect. And that's saying something, given that the man has a reputation for being a little insane. And that's perhaps part of his charm and the reason millions adore him. The thing about Kanye is that you can hate him, you can love him, but you sure as heck cannot ignore him, especially when he's talking about one controversial subject after another, be it his views on the so-called Jewish imperialism, or his take on abortions, or even his comments about his friend Lizzo. This man knows how to stay in the limelight. And hey, if all of this is a stunt for publicity, we must commend the man's marketing strategy. Because let's face it, he's become the talk of the town of late. But what about those of us who remain fully unbothered by Mr. Ye? Does he have a strategy of roping in those who deliberately choose to ignore him? Well, yes. Apparently Kanye is in no mood to let anyone go about their day. And he made this very clear when recently he commented on Lizzo's weight. Following from this, what's so demonic about Lizzo? When discussing Lizzo in a recent interview with Fox News, Kanye threw around the word demonic. If by demonic you mean hot, badass, and iconic, then she most definitely is a demon, Kanye. No disagreements there, because she took a DNA test, and she is 100% a boss lady. Okay, sorry about that. We couldn't resist showing our Lizzo fangirl side. But before everyone gets pissed at Kanye, it's only fair if we give some more context why he used the word. Apparently, Kanye said all of this in good faith. He claimed that people who shame Lizzo for losing weight are acting in a way that is demonic. Now, if you feel a little led on by the caption, don't fret, because technically Kanye was referring to the excessive glamorization of Lizzo's current body as a demonic act. He believed it promoted an unhealthy lifestyle and was a mass attempt to eventually cause black people to die out. Whoa there. That's one very intense conspiracy theory, don't you think? We're sure Lizzo fans are just impressed with the confidence she takes in her fatness. For her, fat isn't a derogatory term. If the lady herself has reclaimed it, who are we to judge? Right, Kanye? Next, what is the correlation between Lizzo's weight and the eradication of Black lives? Now that is a sentence we never thought we'd say. But when we have legends like Mr. West getting all scientific and political on national television, it's only part of our job to humor their argument. All we can say in his defense is that his intention didn't seem to be too bad. But alas, he could have worked a bit on the phrasing, because he literally triggered thousands of social justice warriors and body positivists online, who came at him in giant hordes afterward. Virtually course. Hey man, come on. Man's just watching out to preserve his people. Is that so bad? Well, looks like it was for many people who thought that drawing a link between Lizzo's body acceptance, self-love, and the inevitable eradication of Black lives is not only a bit of a stretch, but also just plain body shaming. The argument that Kanye built had a few logical fallacies. Yes, we paid attention in our critical thinking class. He claimed that endorsing obesity is not okay, because people literally die because of it, and so anyone who promotes that lifestyle and praises Lizzo probably has ulterior motives. Of course, these motives are that they want Black people to slowly die out. Talk about a slippery slope, right? This slope is so slippery, we can barely stand straight. Coming forward, Lizzo's epic clap came back. You see, one of our favorite things about Lizzo is that she refuses to stay quiet, and she is unafraid to take up space. Then again, she had to fight tooth and nail for that space that she made for herself in the industry. Being a Black woman in the industry is no easy feat, and we all know how people treat you if you're not thin. The world is bent to the will of pretty people, and unfortunately for most of us, pretty equals thin. And in a climate like this, being fat and being proud of it is most definitely revolutionary. And this woman is a revolution herself. There was no way she was going to just let just about anyone get away with shaming her on a public platform like that. There was bound to be retaliation. retaliation. And retaliate she did, in the most Lizzo fashion possible. And by Lizzo fashion, we mean a perfect blend of subtle and snarky. Put simply, she told everyone to mind their business and not stick their noses in hers. We've got to say that's pretty valid for her. That's how Gen Z would phrase it, right? Up next, Lizzo went off in Toronto. Alright, fair. You all are probably hungry for a bit more tea. And we're always ready to spill. The same way Lizzo did, of course. We can't claim to be anywhere near as iconic as the icon herself, but Lizzo chose the perfect time to go off and give the world her peace of mind. Okay, before we discuss the next part, we'd just like to say that if you're under 18 or have a thing against profanity, you'd want to mute this bit. Apparently, Lizzo had a lot of righteous rage. She asked, "Why does everyone in America got my name in their mouth for no reason?" Good question, Lizzo. We wonder why. She added that she's minding her fat, black, and beautiful business. She doesn't need to hear anyone else's unnecessary take on it. Well, to be fair, the woman has a point. Why comment on her life when she's not intervening in someone else's, right? We hope the message was delivered loud and clear to Kanye, because the millions of fans that came to her concert in Toronto definitely heard it. Coming up, that's not all Lizzo had to say. If you thought she was done, well, you're wrong. The woman came intending to want to be heard, and she made sure she was. She had quite a lot to say, because too much was being said about her, and for no good reason. Previously, Spears also dissed her in an interview by comparing her face to that of an emoji. Ouch, that's harsh, don't you think? We genuinely feel bad for her. It makes no sense that these men feel the need to constantly berate and attack her like this, but we need to respect her confidence despite it all. She most definitely has thick skin, and she isn't afraid to show it. The Queen Bee called out everyone who has been shaming her in the press, and then decided they're not really worth her time or energy. So true, Queen. We can only wish for that level of self-confidence, to be honest. Moving on from this, let's go back to Kanye again. Alright. Lizzo has been hogging much of the limelight for most of this video, and it's only fair if we talk about Kanye and his hot takes a little more. And we admit, his hot takes are hot, and we're always ready to add fuel to the fire. It's literally in the job description. The thing about Kanye's interview with Fox News was that he didn't just have one conspiracy theory for us. He had quite a few, actually, and he didn't solely blame Lizzo for the secret, evil genocide against Black lives in the United States. No, there were other scapegoats as well. And you'd hope that now was the time for him to hold white supremacists accountable. But Kanye lived up fully to his unpredictable nature and surprised us a little more. This time, he blamed abortions. And you're probably sick and tired of the whole abortion debate, which seems to have been going on for centuries now. It literally has. But Kanye's new take to the issue was that abortions are the reason Black people are reducing in population, because 50% of the aborted babies are Black. Well, if those stats are even remotely true, then his argument may have some substance, but we really don't know where the man gets his info from. But it's not our job to find out. It's our job to keep our viewers updated. On that note, it's a wrap for today. Let us know your thoughts on the latest feud between these two in the comments below. If you liked this video, subscribe to our channel. See you next time!